Welcome back to NBA Cinema. Today we got to talk about Canada and Team USA potentially meeting in the Fiba championships. Now, we know Team USA, anytime there's international basketball competition, that name carries weight. We've seen them lose before, but coming into each of those competitions, they were the favorite, right? This year, the Canada team matches up fairly nicely, and we're going to talk about those rosters right now. So for Canada, you have Shai Gilgeous Alexander, Jamal Murray, RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks, Kelly Olynyk, Corey Joseph, LeGuence Dort, O'Shea Brissett, Dwight Powell, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Zach Edey out of Purdue. For Team USA, you have Paolo Banchero, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, Jaren Jackson Jr., Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler, Bobby Portis, and Austin Reeves. Very good roster. You look at Canada, they have two of the most prolific scorers in the entire NBA in the backcourt, and Shai Gilgeous Alexander and Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is coming off of a championship, and Shai Gilgeous, very efficient 30-point per game scorer, probably has the most complete bag in the NBA. And when I say bag, I'm not talking about what people glorify where people are just using unnecessary moves. He has counters for your defense like you wouldn't believe. Great footwork, getting the teeth for the defense, plays on and off the ball. Him and Jamal Murray both do it, so they'll complement each other really nice. Not selfish scorers too. That's important to point out. They aren't selfish when scoring the ball. You got Dylan Brooks, RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett has some big games, has some duds, for the Knicks, but very strong slasher and still very young, looking to hit his prime and put more consistent performances together. Even though, and when I talk about his consistency, I'm not talking about his points per game or anything like that. I'm talking about his shooting percentages, elevating those, becoming a more reliable three-point shooter when open, taking smarter shots, different things like that. You got Dylan Brooks coming off of a rough second half of his season. Shot, that was his career low, I believe, from the field, and got into that stuff with LeBron James last year where wasn't favorable for him. But, he signed a big contract with Houston, and he's looking to bounce back. And I think he'll definitely thrive in this environment. Kelly Olynyk can stretch the floor, can put the ball on the floor. So I'm looking at those shot blockers for Team USA. Jaren Jackson Jr., now he's comfortable guarding out on the floor. Walker Kessler, I'm looking at him, potentially switching on Olynyk. That could be a tough cover. You also have Corey Joseph, great on-ball defender. LeGuence Dort, Lou Dort, OKC. We know what his calling card is. A phenomenal defender. Phenomenal, low base, strong defender who's going to give, Brandon Ingram, pretty much all of the wing guards time and the point guards. He can guard, 1 through 4 in this setting. You have O'Shea Brissett, he can play mid-range, can shoot out from the perimeter, very strong-bodied. He would be a good addition. Dwight Powell, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he was going to thrive in this. And Zach Edey is the wild card, I think, for this team. You have to imagine if they do play Team USA, Walker Kessler and Zach Edey going to spend a lot of time on each other. Edey is very huge, so even though Walker Kessler is 7'1", Edey knows how to get low post position. He doesn't do too much. He seals, he turns around and shoots over the top at a very high clip, soft hands. So he could be a problem in this setting. So we're going to look to see, how he's able to play. Can he keep up with the speed of these players? That's going to be one thing to look at because that's going to be something instrumental and if he can have a good NBA career in the future. Now we're going over to the Team USA side. I look at Paolo Banchero. He's going to have to take good shots, and that wasn't always the case in Orlando. He got his 20 a game, but he had the ultimate green light. He's going to have to take shots that's good for the team. Don't need to see you going between your legs too much, shooting, just pulling from three whenever you feel like it. Use those passing skills, use that size to bang around on the inside, because low percentage shots will get you beat against a team like Canada. But Paolo Banchero, this is a good look for him. He'll have the opportunity to come out and um, show that he can play with a lot of other good players and fit into a role, because he is, I look at him kind of as a role player on this team, a good role player. So how does he look as a role player? How is Paolo Banchero going to affect the game when he's getting 4 and 5 shots some nights? Let's see how that works. Mikal Bridges is going to thrive in this setting. He's becoming a elite scorer on the wing, but he also, his calling card was defense, and that's what got him on the floor early in his career. So he plays both ends, and I feel like if there was a game between these two teams, don't know who's going to make and miss shots on a given night, but Mikal Bridges is going to be very comfortable contributing to his team on both ends of the floor. Jalen Brunson, I expect him to thrive. He's probably the cleanest point guard in the entire NBA. That's a star. And I even think, he's a superstar to me, just the way he's playing. He had to play with Julius Randle dribbling the ball up the court last year, whereas I feel like that would affect some other point guards a little bit different. I think Brunson was able to navigate that and still play at a high level, shoot high percentages, get them to the second round. And honestly, they should have beat Miami if Randall and those guys would have played better. But that's neither here nor there. But I expect Jalen Brunson versus Jamal Murray or Shai Gilgeous. I expect those matchups to be legendary. Anthony Edwards, a wild card in this environment, definitely has a star, cachet coming in. Is he gonna be focused the entire game against a team like this? Because you got to look at it. Canada still feels like they're the underdog, even with world champion Jamal Murray on the team, just because it's Team USA. So guys are going to be up for the level. How is he going to respond to Dylan Brooks, R.J. Barrett, LeGuent's Dort, Brissett? I think those will be the guys guarding him, looking at these teams. And, how will he respond? Will he play his best basketball and rise to the occasion? That's yet to be seen. But he definitely is viewed as a star coming into this. Tyrese Halliburton, lone point guard, is going to make plays. Him and Jalen Brunson, it's funny when you look at it, right? They have the 2 point guards. Jamal Murray plays point guard. Shai Gilgeous plays it sometimes, but those guys can score, and they come off to me as combo guards, a little bit more than true point guards, whereas Brunson, he scores a lot for the Knicks, but Brunson is the type of guy that I think if he had a great team around him, he would average 18 a game. He would let the points go down just because of the nature of his game. Tyrese Halliburton led the league in assists, true point guard, 6'5". I think he'll play great in this environment. Him and Shai Gilgeous, I'm just putting them as potential matchups with each other. I think it'll be fireworks. Shai Gilgeous, offensive game. Tyrese Halliburton can score, but, he'll be making plays for others really nice. I look at Josh Hart, and you pair him against, like, the Dylan Brooks, the Lou Dorts. Who's going to win those matchups as far as the glue guys that dive for loose balls, rebound really well, guard everybody, all the positions, 1 through 4 at least. But, pretty much all the positions in the game right now. Undersized guys that play bigger than they are. Who's going to win those matchups? I look at those 3 and I say, who's going to have the biggest impact if this were to play out? Look at Brandon Ingram. He's probably, looking at him, he's probably I would say Brandon Ingram is the most gifted wing scorer in this potential matchup. I'm looking at both teams. Him or Mikal Bridges, you know what I'm saying? Those two are the best wing scorers. And I'm saying that I guess you could throw Anthony Edwards in there too. I'm just looking at him like a two. But when I'm saying wing, I'm talking about guys that play more to 3/2. You know, they 3 2s, not 2 3s. I look at Anthony Edwards as a two that can play the three, and I look at them as threes that can play the two. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Brandon Ingram, we're going to see how he plays. This is a good chance for him to make a statement in his career and elevate his superstar profile by winning with those three letters on his jersey, you know, Team USA, and him being maybe the leading scorer for the team. So we look at that. Jaren Jackson Jr., how many shots is he going to block? That's what I'm looking at, shots he's going to change. Now, he could change the dynamic of the whole game by shutting down the paint or people just penetrating, erasing mistakes. Will he bite and will he go for Shai Gilgeous Alexander's Euros and fakes? Because it's hard to stay disciplined in the paint when Shai Gilgeous gets downhill. You could get in early foul trouble. Jamal Murray, same thing. You know, he's crafty in the paint. And I'm looking at those two as guys that can cause a problem. R.J. Barrett, when he goes to that left hand, sometimes he can draw some fouls. Will he get fouls? Jaren Jackson, that is, will he get fouls helping on Zach Edey? You know, I'm looking at those things for him. But I look for his defense to be a major impact. Cam Johnson, he is a wild card in the sense that he is probably the best guy that's not a superstar type player in this game that can catch and shoot and score 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, with Halliburton on his team penetrating Jalen Brunson, if he's finding open spots in the defense, when they draw double teams or they make the defense collapse, he could have a field day. Whereas Lou Dort and them can make them sometimes, but Cam Johnson can go crazy from three. And he can also put it on the floor. But I think he is the perfect role player for Team USA, in my opinion. And he rebounds really well, too. Walker Kessler. Again, much like Jaren Jackson Jr., he has the ability to show, be big in the paint, change a lot of shots. Him and Zach Edey will probably spend some time on each other. I think Walker Kessler will change some shots. And he knows how to. Now, he's very disciplined. I noticed throughout the regular season, he knows that he's long and he doesn't really bite for the first fake that bad. And that's really advanced for such a young player to understand until the ball leaves the person's hands, don't really jump or overcommit to it because your size makes them uncomfortable. They're trying to show you the ball to get you off your square. And for him to process that already, I think is pretty dope. Bobby Portis, another glue guy. I think, again, Bobby Portis, another glue guy. I think that, you know, you look at him and LeGuent's Dort, I think that could cause like the skirmish in the game. Those two being on the court in a tight game, just the intensity level that will be on the court if the game's tight late and they are really battling for loose balls and everything's 50-50. I think, you know, we may even see them, you know, the teams get face-to-face based off that fact. Austin Reeves, I feel like he's another guy that, looking at what he brings to the table and the confidence he gained with the Lakers alongside LeBron James, Anthony Davis, his trajectory is on the way up. He re-signed with the Lakers, and he feels like he's an up-and-coming young star because of the success he had and how instrumental he was even in the round they lost against the Denver Nuggets. It wasn't like he was a no-show. He came out and balled, gave them a chance a few games late, hitting threes late in the game, cutting it to one, cutting it to two, tying it up, different things he was doing. So he has all the confidence in the world going into this, and he's going to be looking for revenge on Jamal Murray. So I'll look to see how they play against each other when they're matched up. And not to forget what Mike Malone's been saying about the Lakers. So, you know, there's some added hate there between Darvin Ham, Mike Malone, and, you know, Austin Reeves and Jamal Murray because they spent time on each other in the playoffs recently where, you know, Reeves was sent home. So I just wanted to break down both rosters and what I thought each player would bring to a potential matchup. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, though. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.